A fat woman stands in front of a high-tech beauty machine without hesitation. A few minutes later, the surgery was successful. The woman thought she was born again. But she didn't know that she was born again in the sense of self-destruction. In 2025, Wang Fei was shocked by the shocking discovery of the new human body. There was no material that flew to the edge of the sky, but it still told us a scary story that made people feel numb. You may not believe it. The fat woman in front of you is an actress. She debuted a few years ago. She used to be a little famous, but now her figure is gone. Her face is not as smooth as before, but she still doesn't want to give up. Today, a small-budget movie is going to choose the heroine. She just met the director, so she decided to try her luck. The competitors who came to the audition were all young and beautiful. This made the fat woman feel a little uncomfortable. But at that time, Samantha stayed for a long time. She just realized the girl in front of her is called Chloe. 10 years ago, Samantha had been her nanny for a while. Now Chloe is 22 years old. It's the best age of her life. She thought she was going to have dinner with the children she took care of. Samantha really had no light on her face. Finally, it's Samantha's turn, but the director was too lazy to come. The staff gave Samantha a line. Of course, you have to read the lines when you come to audition. But Samantha really thought she could get this role with the help of the director. She didn't prepare at all. After reading the lines patiently, Samantha was eliminated unexpectedly. Although Samantha is not beautiful, she also wants to be noticed and recognized. When she came home, Samantha was crying. But it was too late. What made Samantha lose her mind was that even her own financial company talked to her. She suggested that she should have a beauty surgery. For example, the most popular beauty clinic in Shisha is called Shell. This clinic is looking for them to promote, so she gave the financial company a few free treatments. Let Samantha choose. If the transformation is successful, the financial company will be happy. In the face of this kind of goodwill, Samantha refused. At night, Samantha dates a man. The man secretly brags that he will be able to raise funds soon. In this way, he can finally pay off his father's money. Samantha is a person who always eats vegetables on her teeth. She doesn't mind that the man in front of her is worse than herself. She doesn't mind that the man in front of her is worse than herself. After all, under her current conditions, she can't be too picky about men. After eating, the man took a taxi and sent Samantha to the door. Then he started to hit and talk. Samantha didn't refuse. The man's hand reached into Samantha's neck and immediately shrunk back. The man who was about to reach out was scared away. It rained heavily. Today, Samantha can't fail again. Back home, the TV is playing an interview with Zoe Shangnong. This rich woman is the boss of Baker Clinic. She is 68 years old this year, but she has undergone a full set of cosmetic surgery in her clinic. She looks like she's in her 30s. No one knows what magic this clinic has. It can make a person look young and beautiful forever. But since the boss dares to go to the clinic himself, the reputation of the clinic among women is naturally very high. Although she doesn't admit it, Samantha admires this strong woman very much. Zoe in the TV is constantly preaching. Obviously, Samantha outside the TV was really moved. The next morning, Samantha came to the clinic to sign up for cosmetic surgery. The front desk with a smile on her face let Samantha read the confidentiality agreement. Like everyone else, Samantha signed her name on the end of the long confidentiality agreement. In the promotional video of the clinic, Dr. Brandt, who developed technology for the clinic, briefly explained their secret. In nature, creatures like lobsters and jellyfish will never age. This is because the polymethylenes in their bodies protect the ends of the dye. And a few years ago, Dr. Brandt found the secret between the growth of these polymethylenes and lobsters. He did a genetic modification to it and introduced it into the human body. This can make the human body continuously split out healthy epidermal cells so that it looks young and beautiful forever. Samantha, who was too professional to understand, was in a state of unease. Samantha came to the changing room in a hospital gown. As a result, she found that there were men and women waiting for surgery inside.
Everyone is healthy and beautiful. Everyone wants to stay in the best age. This made Samantha feel inferior. Is she really qualified to accept this kind of surgery? Samantha chose to give up, but was soon called by a doctor named Schubert. Maybe she really wants to help Samantha. Or maybe she just wants to keep her surgery. Schubert said that this kind of surgery can replace all the epidermal cells of Samantha. It can also treat her spleen and dilephyl. The spleen and dilephyl in reality are actually incurable. Now there is a root treatment. There is no pain in the whole process. It's completely free. Samantha was moved. While waiting for the surgery, Samantha ran into Chloe again. Samantha was a little surprised. Chloe is so young and beautiful. She actually had to do the surgery? Chloe just laughed and didn't answer. Samantha obviously didn't know. The younger and more beautiful a person is, the more anxious he will be about his appearance. After all, as the saying goes, losing what you once had is the most painful. During the conversation, it was finally Samantha's turn to take off all her clothes. Samantha stood in the beauty device. A metal mask was slowly placed on her face. After a while of inexplicable operation, Samantha woke up. The surgery was over. Her appearance did not change at all, but the cowhide was all gone. Samantha felt so good. When she just got home, Samantha received an invitation letter from Zoe herself. Put on your best clothes. Samantha came to Zoe's mansion. She wandered around the party. Zoe was able to cope with it, but she soon noticed Samantha, who was alone and helpless. What made Samantha a little unbelievable was that Zoe was her fan. She had watched every episode of her TV series. In the past, actors wanted others to mention her glory. This kind of glory was just right. Samantha fell in love with Zoe at once. Dinner was about to start. Samantha became a guest who stayed for dinner. The dishes were a little crispy. It was delicious. Samantha couldn't help but praise it. She asked what it was. Zoe answered very naturally, "It's meat." It turns out that this delicious food is actually the cowhide that Zoe pushed down. It contains protein. It contains almost no fat. It is the health food that rich people are most fond of. Other people at the party were attracted to it. It wasn't the first time they ate it. But Samantha almost threw up. Out of the most basic courtesy, she still forced herself to have another bite. Finally, the dinner was over. Samantha went upstairs to find the bathroom. As a result, she heard a strange woman's voice in the corridor. She followed the voice all the way. Through the empty door, Samantha saw a shocking scene. Samantha, who was standing at the door, was immediately discovered by Zoe. However, Zoe didn't mean to blame her. She called Samantha into the room. She asked her if she would be happy after the surgery. Samantha admitted that she was a self-abased person. Even her mother said that she didn't belong to a big city like Los Angeles. So Zoe started to scold Samantha. She said that Samantha was actually very beautiful. She must take this beauty as pride. Do you understand how others perceive you? It's much easier to get what you want. To put it bluntly, Zoe is a weapon that can be used on the outside. After that, Zoe pulled out a more explosive toy from the drawer. She asked Samantha to use this big toy to enjoy herself in front of the mirror. Everyone will get old eventually, but those who have undergone surgery will not. They don't have to worry about the future, because their future is eternal. The only thing Samantha has to do is to enjoy the beautiful body she has in front of her. Until the end of the world, Zoe left the room. She did it. She has completely been conquered by this witchcraft philosophy. From that night on, Samantha seemed to understand how she should live. She successfully got a chance to play the heroine in a new movie. She got into a luxury car and started a real relationship. Various interviews and photos were taken continuously. The whole person became cheerful and confident. Her relationship with Zoe became closer and closer. On a private party, Zoe told Samantha that her original last name was Chilty, which means earthy. So at the ceremony, Zoe changed her last name to a more Western-sounding Shanglong. People have to learn to wrap themselves. Even if they cut off their own blood, pretend to be another person. Zoe's little past made Samantha happy all the time. She told Zoe that she didn't believe in luck.
It turned out that everyone was of the same kind. Now Zoe really has feelings for Samantha. In order to maintain the surgical effect, Samantha's refrigerator was filled with special food provided by Lek. Even the female assistant who grew up with Samantha complained. Samantha became more and more like Zoe. However, Tan Xiaojian's assistant suddenly noticed that there was a black tumor on Samantha's neck. Samantha hurried to see Dr. Schubert. The latter used tweezers to remove the tumor. After a simple checkup, Schubert told Samantha that although it looked disgusting, it was actually the skin on one side. There may be more after that, but it can be determined to be benign. At most, just apply some ointment. In case of emergency, Schubert also gave his personal phone number to Samantha. If there was anything wrong, he could contact her directly. Since the doctor said so, there was nothing to worry about. However, Samantha didn't expect that she had been targeted by a mysterious man wearing a pair of red gloves. As soon as she returned home, the two police officers visited her. Samantha thought she had done something wrong. As a result, she found out that Chloe had disappeared for no reason. Samantha had seen Chloe at the Shell Clinic before, and that was the last time Chloe was seen. It's been 3 months since Samantha worked at the clinic. This is obviously unusual, but Samantha is also confused about it. When the police were sent away, Samantha found Zoe immediately. But Zoe said the two detectives were fake police officers. After all, the technology of the Shell can protect youth forever is a miracle. Zoe's competitors are looking for a chance at any time. Samantha didn't know whether to deny it. But at that moment, in a state of unease, Samantha returned home at night. She took a shower and was about to go to bed. As a result, she suddenly heard that something was broken upstairs. She walked over and saw that it was a bottle of red wine that fell to the ground for some reason. Samantha thought it was the cat at home. She went to pick up the broken bottle, but her hand was hurt by the glass. Why are there so many bad things happening today? But it's not over yet. She picked up the microphone and listened. It was full of noise. Then, Chloe called her. She said she felt very strange. Then she left a last word. The phone was hung up. After encountering so many strange things, Samantha didn't sleep all night. Until the next morning, she came to the set to shoot. She didn't feel good. She followed the long cowhide blood and seemed to come back again. She hid in her own private car. Samantha felt a little hard on her legs. She took a look first. Samantha was really panicked, but she could only sit still and enter the studio to start shooting. However, there were these things on her legs. Samantha couldn't get into the scene anyway. She couldn't hold it in after 2 shots. Everyone stared at her. Samantha fled. Journalists blocked Samantha from interviewing. As a result, everyone was surprised. Samantha hid in the car. Now the only one she wants to believe is Zoe. She received a message from Samantha. Zoe came quickly and brought Samantha into her own luxury car. Samantha didn't notice it. Zoe, who opened the door for herself, came to Zoe's mansion. Samantha called for Dr. Schubert. But Zoe said she had been fired from the clinic. Samantha asked for Chloe. As a result, Zoe told her that Chloe moved to Paris. Samantha said she would call Chloe, but Zoe said she wouldn't call a stranger. In order to make Samantha feel better, Samantha was not a fool. She went to the bathroom and called the 2 detectives, but she didn't expect her voice to be heard by Zoe. She insisted on checking Samantha's phone. Samantha refused, of course. Unexpectedly, Zoe went crazy. She said Samantha was betraying herself. To put it bluntly, these terrible black changes in skin are just medical accidents. Once things are exposed, Zoe's stock price will plummet and bankruptcy is inevitable. In front of her own interests, the so-called good friend is not worth mentioning at all. When she saw Zoe's true face, Samantha didn't say anything. A cup of hot tea poured directly into Zoe's perfect face. Then she came out of the door with red gloves. Samantha climbed over the railing and jumped off the hill. She rolled all the way to the corner of the slope. Zhang Chen's assistant drove the car in time and finally rescued Samantha. According to the previous agreement, Samantha rushed to a small restaurant on the side of the road and met the 2 detectives. Samantha put all the conversations she revealed on her phone. To the 2 detectives, with solid evidence, she should have caught Zoe. However, the detectives didn't do anything.
Instead, one of them reminded Samantha that she had made her own situation very embarrassing. Samantha reacted immediately. These 2 detectives had actually been bought over by Zoe long ago. Chloe was really missing. But Zoe was obviously afraid to leak something, so she let the 2 detectives look for her everywhere. Now she is like Chloe. Zoe must be buried in the dark forever. She figured it out. Samantha used the excuse to go to the bathroom. Then she rushed to the back door and jumped on a car. She thought she could escape, but the car was 25 miles per hour. It was so fast that even the detectives who were chasing her couldn't help but complain. "Why are you driving so slow?" The detectives were going to rush to the front to stop the car, but they didn't expect it to be a crossroad. This corner of the road went straight through the head. At night, Samantha found Schubert's house. This is her last hope. Schubert poured the potion into the bathtub and put a mask on Samantha. Then he asked her to immerse her body in the potion. Let the potion swallow all the mutated black skin. She didn't have to think about it. This kind of treatment naturally hurts to death. But in order to survive, Samantha had to endure it. The next day, Samantha was miraculously cured. She thanked Schubert for saving her. However, the next second, Samantha found in the drawer of the bathroom a medicine bottle with Chloe's name on it. Samantha angrily asked Schubert what was going on. Schubert admitted that Chloe did have an accident. Her skin began to change rapidly. Like Samantha, she came to Schubert for help headlong. Schubert liked Chloe. He helped her out. But where was Chloe on this key issue? Schubert began to say various words. Samantha suddenly reacted. Chloe was actually hiding in this house. Samantha shouted Chloe's name. Schubert quickly stopped her. As a result, he strangled Samantha's neck. This time, Samantha didn't pretend. She took out the scissors she had hidden before. Samantha struggled to run to the door at the end of the corridor. She could feel that something was inside. She carefully closed her cat's eyes and tried to see inside. That thing was definitely not Chloe. Samantha returned to the living room, but she found that Schubert had fallen into the blood. There was a knife on his neck. And then, when Samantha woke up again, she found herself trapped in an abandoned warehouse. It was pitch black. In front of her was an Asian man who claimed to be a lawyer of the Beck Group, and Dr. Brandt, whom she had only seen in the ads. Samantha asked where Chloe was. The two of them also became mysterious people. They just said that Chloe was very safe now. This kind of surgery does bring the risk of skin coverings. However, the relevant risks have been explained in the long-term confidentiality agreement. As long as Samantha looks at it patiently, she will find that Samantha is lucky. Her skin coverings are very slight, and the treatment has been cured in time. It's just that sometimes this kind of skin coverings have some irregularities on individuals. Samantha was obviously impatient to hear these so-called explanations. She warned that she would definitely get things out. But she didn't expect that this time, Chloe came out from behind a pillar and threatened that Samantha must keep it a secret. At the same time, she asked the lawyer for a generous return, including partial equity transfer and lifelong free treatment. For these temptations, Samantha knew that she and Zoe were not the same kind of people. She wouldn't give up something more important. But Zoe was not busy. All she saw was a red glove driving a huge armored car in front of everyone. When she saw what was locked inside, Samantha finally knew what the so-called irregularity of skin coverings meant. It turned out that Chloe's skin coverings were especially serious. Schubert wanted to save her, but he helped. It should have corroded the serum on one side of the skin, but it accelerated Chloe's mutations. That once beautiful beauty has now become a headless crayfish. If you don't want to be dissected, Chloe must stay here. This is the basis for Zoe to capture Samantha. But no one expected that after seeing Samantha, it seemed that the remaining humanity in her heart was awakened. The crayfish suddenly got excited and began to beat its bulletproof glass cage with the big pliers. The revenge of the Blood Star began. Who would have thought that the usual human dish was just a crayfish, but the fighting power behind the magnification is so great? Samantha ran to the room next to the warehouse and accidentally found the assistant was also caught by the red gloves. The two who finally met again planned to escape quickly. At this time, the red gloves appeared behind the two with a cool look. As a result, the next second they were put down by the big crayfish. The two who were frightened by the bloody scene fled the room quickly, but they didn't expect that Chloe would catch up with them. At this point, Zoe was overwhelmed. He was determined to kill Samantha, the traitor, with his own hands today. It turned out that Zhu Yi fell for Samantha because he saw in her a pitiful and inferior self. His help to Samantha was both pity and self-righteousness. Selfish, ruthless, and hedonistic, he believed his own self was right. But Samantha obviously didn't want to hear any of this nonsense. She simply let Zhu Yi go. Then a large lobster entered the room. Samantha left Zhu Yi to the lobster. Zhu Yi fought back desperately, but the lobster didn't fight back, instead forcing him back into a beauty machine. That was Zhu Yi's own masterpiece. With a swipe of its giant claws, the lobster activated the machine and then turned away. Zhu Yi begged Samantha to save him, but Samantha stood coldly in front of the machine, observing Zhu Yi's death with a slightly cruel smile. Zhu Yi was finally dead. Samantha wrote a book exposing the darkness. Ironically, Becker Company didn't collapse because of this. But Samantha didn't care. After all, for him, going through it is enough to be able to be yourself again after the disaster.